What's up, everybody? Hope everybody doing fine tonight. How you doing, Mr. Shea? How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. I want to try something. Trying to see something. Give me a second. Maya, what's happening? How you doing? How's that Amazon stuff going? Did you start that yet or no? Just curious. Curious to know. Trying to see in real time how these different layouts work, but whatever. What's up, Leaf? Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. December's on fire. No, it ain't bad. It hasn't been a bad month. I have no complaints. You know what's crazy? I was just looking at my payouts from eBay, and as much as it hasn't seemed like it's been as busy, I mean, I'm looking at the payouts. I'm like, all right, well, definitely I'm getting more sales. So maybe it's just could just be that I don't know. I know I raised some of my average sale price, but I don't think that's it. It's just maybe we was used to like the velocity of eBay as far as eBay goes, like immediately post COVID, that type of thing. Because it was crazy. It was crazy. eBay post COVID, like it was almost like Amazon on eBay for a minute there. Seriously. Maya said you need to start it. Yeah, I got you on that. I want to talk about some of that stuff tonight, man. I do want to talk about that. So before I get into the main topic for tonight's show, because I do have a topic, and which was in the thumbnail, but I do just want to talk about like how my week went. Y'all can let me know in the comments how your week's been going and everything like that. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Leaf, man. I just had. Well, this is gonna be part of like so. This week, sales wise, I don't really have no complaints as far as that goes. I had a shipment that was stuck at Amazon for like 3 weeks, and it's crazy because this shipment got there. I want to say a week and a half or two before another shipment that had went like halfway around the country before it actually got to Amazon. That was 201 items. That got went through all the roundabout, got to Amazon, got checked in before a smaller shipment of 30 units that was part of the same 3 shipments before that even got checked in. The 30 unit shipment literally just got checked in. It's almost been a month. So I don't know. At least I got checked in and they ain't losing because I thought I was gonna have to deal with that. But so like besides sales and stuff, which I don't have really nothing like negative to report on that, not even on eBay. All my metrics look good on eBay. Like I said, my payouts, it don't seem like super fast, but I mean the sales been coming in and I've been keeping my promoted between 5 to 8%. The ones that I had on 8% dynamic, I haven't changed them. So if there's any listings attached to them that haven't changed, I or they haven't sold, I haven't changed. So there's a couple things though, right? So look, if all first it started, I'm going through my listings, and this was like a serendipitous event where I was looking at because you know how if you got inventory and you'll be like, man, why in the world is this stuff not selling? If something should be happening, right? Something. I got these video games, a bunch of games, man. Xbox, most of them's Xbox, right? I know they should be selling, and I was doing some things, and so I clicked on a link for one of the listings, and just honestly, just like out my peripheral, I saw that there was a price on the shipping. So I'm like, hold up, how did that happen? So I go and look, man, I got a whole shipping policy with almost like 100 listings that all have calculated shipping on it. All of them. All of them. All the video game listings and a bunch of other ones, right? So I'm like, man, How in the heck did that happen, right? Now, it's possible I could have done it. It's possible I could have done it because in my mind, I'm thinking eBay did some little janky stuff. But the only thing that made me not sure is because when I did the video game, it's possible because what I would have done is I would have created a template and then I would have just made copies of the template and then did all the games from there. So it's possible I did that, and because I thought I had the right shipping, I could have did that. But the fact that there was other listings that had the problem, I ain't sure. So needless to say, I had to go in, edit that template, right? Change that. And well, I've been selling video games for the last few days, man. Like almost immediately, I sold like two $13 games. I've been selling games like left and right now. So that was one thing. But then there was another thing. Then I noticed because I told y'all I had all these DVDs that I bought out a family video a few years ago. And this is basically the end of it. I'm trying to get rid of them because whatever's not going by next year, I'm just taking out and donating or whatever. So I've been trying to play around with different things. Buy two, get one free. Buy one, get one free. Whatever I can do just to get rid of it. So I noticed some of the, and so I'm running a sale on them now. I noticed that I sold two. One sold for $2.09 and the other one sold for $2.01. I ain't bullshit, y'all, man. I'm like, yo, come on, man. So then boom. I go look. I got like 6 listings of DVDs that's listed at $2.95 free shipping. That I know I did not do. Listen. So then I had to spend time going through all my listings, checking all my shipping. Make sure I didn't have calculated on nothing that wasn't supposed to have calculated. All right. Then after that, I had to go through and check all my prices. How do I get $2.90? Listen, even if I wanted to get rid of those, I wouldn't have listed them at $2.95. I just wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So that one, I think eBay's up to some old crazy stuff because there was just too many of them. If it was one or two, maybe I fat fingered it, but to have so many listed at $2.95. So of course I had to send them out, right? I can't like do that to the customer. I still had to mail them, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. Then I had like 3 returns, almost all back to back. The one return was a hair curler. The reason was does not fit, and the lady said it was too big for her hair. Man. Too big for her hair. Whatever. Just send it back. Make sure it's right. So I got those returns. Every other day lately, I'm getting an email from Amazon saying one of my listings has been temporarily deactivated because they think it's a policy violation. So apparently they got these bots that go through and they look for stuff. So I had a suspected IP claim. That's basically where they think you might be using something in your title, something in your, description, whatever, and they'll take it down until they look and see. Then the bots will come through and they'll look at stuff, and it could be an ingredient. It could be anything. It could be anything. They'll temporarily take it down. But, just to get those emails, it's like anxiety attack. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be getting emails from Amazon talking about your listings has been removed or temporarily removed. But every time I go back and check, they still up. So I think, they already did whatever they're doing. But this time of year is the time of year where you have all this stuff happening. But it's like all this stuff happening at once. So I'm trying to keep up with these orders, which has been honestly a struggle. I'm dealing with the customer service stuff. I'm dealing with having to go back through listings. I got a crap ton of inventory that I'm still trying to list. And I'm not going to lie, man. At certain points, I have felt overwhelmed. And then I still got life. So I got 2 vehicles, right? I got one. My wife got one. And I'm pretty sure this place sold me a lemon, man. I've had it for 2 years. I bought it for her birthday a couple years ago. It was a 2010. It is a 2010 GMC Denali, right? Got it for her birthday. So this vehicle worked really good. I got it for her in the summer. Her birthday's in the summer. Come wintertime, it start dying on us. So initially I'm thinking, okay, maybe the battery's bad and the cold air is making the battery die. Man, listen, I went through a bunch of stuff. Took it to like an electronic specialist. They claimed they fix it. They said it was something wrong with the amp. It got a Bose amp. The vehicle wouldn't even like stay charged long. You would cut it off, go into the store, come out the store, boom, it was dead, right? So I don't know, $1,500 later, still had the same problem. So what I ended up doing, I ended up pulling the fuse to the amp. I pulled the fuse to the amp. I let the vehicle die, totally died out, let all electricity go out. Started back up. It's been running ever since. So the vehicle now has no sound, right? If I put the amp in, I'm probably going to have that same problem. Now, we got inspection. Vehicle inspections, you always have anxiety for those. The rockers is shot, which I knew that was going to happen because the running boards was messed up. Bro, almost a $3,000 job to fix. All right? That ain't it. The rear air shocks are blown out. And I need 2 front ball joints. If any of y'all know about air shocks, y'all know it's not cheap. So what I'm going to do is I ain't buying no air shocks. I'm buying a conversion kit. I found some on what is it, parts.com or something like that. It's about $100. I bought those. I had my mechanic fix it. So by the time it's all said and done, man, I'm looking at almost $3,500 into a vehicle that shouldn't have had that many issues that I overpaid for sure. So platform issues, life issues. Oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly didn't even want to do this live tonight. I'm like, but one thing I know, when you're feeling like a little down and you kind of stressed out, whatever, you got to stay consistent with the things that you used to doing. So, and you guys are all positive. What's up, John? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, buddy. You guys are all positive, and so I appreciate your energy too. What do you say? I'm on my Amazon inventory page, and there are like 30 inactive listings, so I'm trying to delete them. Why am I getting a message that I suggested changes to the catalog? You may not have suggested them, Maya. Somebody else could have. So, like for those emails that I got, as far as like suspected IP claim, and something has to be changed to the title. So any seller on those listings will receive that email, and so depending on what the issue is, any seller can fix it. So even though all y'all got the email, if anybody fixes it, it goes away for everybody. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times other sellers, I'll always wait to see if another seller fixes it or addresses it or whatever. 9 times out of 10, they do. So, I mean, you should just delete them. But just if it says suggested changes, this might be from somebody else or something. Try to just start as fresh as you can from scratch with everything. You know what I mean? That's the easiest way to know what's going on and not get caught up. $295 free ship. That's the deal. Hell yeah, that's a deal, man. I was so mad, dude. I bet you when they saw that, they was trying to like smash the buy button. Oh my goodness, man. One of them was like a $10 DVD. The other one was cheap anyway, but it wasn't $295 cheap. That's for sure. It wasn't $295 cheap. Man. So you got the issues with the platforms you got to deal with. You got to deal with just managing your business. You got to deal with life, right? You got kids. They got stuff going on. What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? Struggling to keep up with shipping, spending $300 a day on shipping. That's a lot, man. I know all about it though, Lee. That's why I do it through my credit card so I can get those cash back rewards, and then I just keep up with it. Make sure I don't get charged the interest. Can only do the best you can do. You know what though, Mr. Shea? I got a bad habit of doing that sometimes. I'll look, I got high expectations for myself, first of all. And I will admit they are not always realistic. I think I have to remind myself at times to kind of temper, not to have lower expectations, but to keep my expectations in line I don't want to say with reality because it's not like I'm like making up stuff or whatever, but I mean, like keep my expectations in line with like, how can I say it? With what I'm capable of doing at the moment, I guess is the best way to put it, right? And 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 this is important, organizing things in order of importance and forgetting about like the things that are of less importance until I get to it. So I'll, and part of that is my own impatience. I'll want to address like everything right now, right? Like right now, like soon as it come up, I want to address right now. And one thing I learned managing restaurants, like you can't take that approach. Well, number one, you'll get burnt out super fast if you try to address some things you got to kind of take your pen, put it on a note, and get to it when you get to it. So the first step is to always address the most important things first. And that's where I get caught up is like if everything comes at once, I want to address it at once. And usually I'll catch myself, but like right now, I had just did an Amazon shipment. So I was working on the Amazon shipment in the midst of all this other stuff and trying to do that. This total shipment was 536 units. And I would find myself working on that shipment. Then I would have to go do this and then go, well, not have to. I would go do something else. Or I would start listing on eBay or I would start listing on Walmart. And I'm just like, I got to stop, finish the shipment. After the shipment, then list on eBay. After listing on eBay, then deal with Walmart. After dealing with Walmart, then deal, but in the midst of that, I'm getting these emails from Amazon too, like your listing's been deactivated. And then I'm getting these emails on eBay like, hey, I want to send this back because it's too big for my hair. You right. I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. One other thing, I'm looking at trying to list some of my items so I'm in the selling application page. Do they accept reach like from retail arbitrage or just invoice from brand? So on the selling application page, if you're trying to get ungated, they will not accept receipts. If you're trying to get ungated and it's asking you for invoices, you need physical invoices from approved, distributor or wholesaler or anything like that. I mean, if you got any questions about who you plan on purchasing from, you can let me know. Maybe I'll know if they're, if I use them or not, or I can find out for you. But the only thing you can pretty much do with receipts is if you get a counterfeit claim. Not sure if they work for IP because that's like intellectual property, so a receipt really won't matter. But a receipt from big box stores like Walmart, Target, things like that, 9 times out of 10 will work for counterfeit claims. If you buy stuff from places like Ollie's and TJ Maxx, one of the things you want to do, is when you get that stuff, if you send it to FBA or whatever, take a picture of the item with the store sticker, because you know how those places have the store sticker, and on the store stickers, there's usually a number, which can be comparable to like UPC. And that's usually the number that's going to be on that receipt. So you take a picture of that item with that sticker next to that receipt before you list anything on Amazon. And a lot of times that will be sufficient if you get like a counterfeit claim, but you got to make sure you got that item and it matches up. And you can always annotate. I mean, I know this ain't really the question you asked. The question you asked is you need an invoice to get ungated, but your receipts, you want to keep those, because if in the event you get any counterfeit claims, that would be how you would fight those claims, if that helps. But if you're trying to get ungated, just reach out to me. I'll let you know some places that you can use to get ungated, depending on what the items are, for sure. What's up, Thrifty Loan? Appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you. But yeah, man, that's kind of what I've been trying to, just stay focused on. And one thing I told myself, especially with the vehicle issues, is to not, let myself get, again, impatient. I'll get impatient and I'll make a decision that will cost me more money because I don't want to wait. You know what I mean? I'm like, just fix it. And it will be the most. That's why I step back. I'll just buy the part. I'll give it to my mechanic. He can fix it. Because I already been dealing with this for it took almost a month to even get the rockers fixed and everything. So I don't know, man. What y'all been going through? How y'all been? My daughter got a like a little thing tomorrow. I don't know. It's like a drawing event. It's like a half-hour event. That's one of the things that make it worth it. You know what I mean? Because I can stop and go to that. Whereas before, when I was like at a regular job, if I'm at work, I'm at work. I mean, I'm sure my older kids can attest to how many of their events I missed as they were going through, their grades when I was working in those restaurants. But I appreciate all that. So look, talk about some of the things. What's about some of the things for next year? What's y'all's plan for next year? I'm gonna talk about 5 things. 5 things. These are things that I'm not just only talking about as far as what you should do, but like what I like, how I look at it. Some of the things I've been doing, I'm going to do and continue to do. All right. So number one, all right, and this is important. So a lot of people complain about lack of sales, right, on eBay, on whatever, especially eBay, specifically speaking, eBay, but any platform. So I know all of you smart people out there know about the Pareto principle, right? 80-20 rule. Now, there's all types of ways you can apply this 80-20 rule. And I know this ain't going to go past a lot of you guys and gals because y'all probably already do this in one way or another. But going into this next year, the one thing you should do is this. Well, realize first that 20% of the items you sell are most likely responsible for 80% of your revenue. All right. 20% of the items you sell are probably responsible for 80% of your revenue. So if you've never done it, now I know many of y'all don't have replenishables and things like that, but some of y'all do. But still, it doesn't matter because you can still apply this even if you might not get a specific item again. It could be attached to a certain brand or a certain line of clothing or anything like that. So what you want to do is going into this next year, you want to look at that 20% of items that brought in your, highest amount of revenue, the higher dollar selling items, the higher sell through type of items, right? And look, I know sometimes you might think like, oh, I know in my mind what sold or what sells in this, but there's a difference a lot of times, like when you think you know something, and then when you actually do the exercise of writing it down, looking at it on paper and plotting out a strategy. Trust me when I tell you, there's a big difference because a lot of times you are peripherally aware of things sometimes, but most of the times it's out of your mind because you got so many other things going on. But even that like peripheral awareness, it's not enough to like, you have to be targeted and very specific. So the one thing I do is I'm going in and I'm just looking, and this don't mean I won't sell certain other things, but I want to focus on the items that have been performing the best. And so I go in and I look, okay, this sold for this much. Let me write that down. And then I can go offshoot into other things that might be related to that item that sell. So I can start sourcing those things specifically. I want to make a targeted, concerted effort to source those things specifically. So you have to apply that Pareto principle to the items you sell by compiling you a very simple Excel spreadsheet that only lists those things that are in the profit range that you want, the sell through that you want, where you got it, how you got it, when you got it. And you look, so one of the things that I do when it comes to that is I might go through my Walmart inventory, right? And I'll look at some of the higher selling makeup or some of the higher selling personal hygiene products. And I'll go back and I'll go to eBay. And a lot of times it's hard to find singles that have enough profit margin, but sometimes I can, but a lot of times, but what I do find, I find lots. People will sell lots. And what I'll go take those higher selling items on Walmart, I'll buy the lot on eBay. 9 times out of 10, the first 1 or 2 items cover the cost, and the rest of the items are profit. Even if it's a lot of 3, there might be an item on Walmart that says sell for $20. There might be a lot on eBay. Let's say you got a lot of 3, 4, 5, whatever. The lot might be around $20 or so. I'll buy it because that first item is going to cover the cost of the purchase, and then the rest of the items are going to be profit. And so that's specific, right? That's targeted. That's how I continue to work on raising and maintaining the higher average sale price. And I've been doing this for some months now, and it's been working great for me, man. It's been working great. And you can do this in any way, in any category or anything, and on any platform, even if you only sell on Walmart. But this is a benefit also of selling on other platforms where items sell for more than they do on eBay, because you can do this arbitrage from platform to platform a little bit easier. But still, you definitely got to go through and look at your higher selling items. Look at what they sold for, what you bought them for. Write it down. Be targeted, be specific, and make a plan to source those specific items or items related, or do research to see what's, because a lot of time these will lead you down rabbit trails to other things. And so, look, it's been working for me. I'm only telling you from experience. All right. Let's see what any comments real quick before I continue on. What's up, Armand? How you doing, my man? Life is good. Just bought more and starting to get them up now. Leaf be grinding, man. You be grinding, Leaf. You definitely be grinding. I be seeing you in the chats everywhere. Definitely appreciate the interaction, man. If y'all don't know, too, again, I'm going to repeat this again. On Flipping Goodies channel, he's on vacation. We talk more about Walmart, and you can get a lot of questions answered over there. We do that on Tuesday night. We will have some videos up over here on my channel as well. Thanks. Yeah, one thing I think of off the top of my head is I bought new tagged inventory from Helpsy Source. They do provide invoices. Yeah, they might. And look, if they don't the first time, keep trying. I know Amazon's been getting a little strict in some ways, but do not give up if your invoices are declined the first time. And pay attention to why they decline it. Sometimes they decline it and people don't read the reason. And so they just give up like, oh, they didn't accept my invoice. Sometimes it's just as simple as, a piece of information is missing. One thing you want to make sure is the name and information you have on that invoice has to match exactly with the business entity you have in Seller Central on Amazon. So if you had an address change, if there's been some time in between, and if your address in Seller Central and your name and all that info for your business entity is different from what's on that invoice, they're not going to accept it. It don't matter how many times you submit it. So make sure all that information is correct first, because I know sometimes when people haven't sold in a while, they may have moved or whatever. Who knows, right? But just make sure everything matches up first, and at least like cover the basic stuff. And then that way, if it does get declined, maybe you can just keep all things considered. If you keep submitting it, then they might just go ahead and approve it. So, number one thing you got to do next year, call, CULL, call your inventory. Make it a point to find the 20% of items that you sold that are your highest selling, fastest sell through, and figure out a way to source those items more and more while you continue to do other things. Like I keep my bread and butter coming in. I don't stop sourcing my bread and butter. That's what keeps my cash flow going. That's what keeps things going. And then while that stuff is going, I'm more and more. Look, it's a step-by-step process, but over time it accumulates. And next thing you know, man, you got a store that is performing at a very, very high level, but it doesn't happen overnight. People want like the secret sauce, but these strategies and tactics, this is the secret sauce. It's a very strategic effort to, once you got some things going and you got things in your store and you selling stuff, to now focus on the main things that are bringing in the most profit, that are moving the fastest, and figuring out a way to source those items over and over and over again, doing research, seeing what items are related to that you can sell, that are just as profitable, if not more, and then sell just as fast. I guarantee you, if you do that starting at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, your business is going to look totally different, y'all. Totally different. Trust me. Miss Lachey, Number 1, focus on my top 3 selling categories. Number 2, set a schedule. Number 3, track the numbers better. Number 4, set a weekly sourcing budget. 5, add another platform. Are you reading my mind? You looking at my notes? I feel like you're looking at my notes. Did I show them or something? No, that's good. That's really good. I like that. Top 3 selling categories for sure. Then you can kind of narrow that down into your top selling items from those categories, right? And you just kind of reverse source everything, man. Telling y'all, do not sleep on the arbitrage. And it's not just item for item. It's buying lots that if a person's selling a lot of a certain item, if your purchase price can cover that first 1 or 2, and then the rest is all profit, if it's a high, if it has a high average sell price and it's a fast seller, trust me, it's worth it, y'all. Trust me. All right, number 2, and you didn't put this on your list, Mr. Shea, but I got it on mine. Analyze your P&L. All right, and I know all you smart people know what a P&L is, but I'm gonna say it anyway. P&L is a profit and loss statement. Now, if you don't track your income and expenses, shame on you. You should be doing that. I use QuickBooks, so it's pretty easy for me to just go in there. You should be using something. You don't have to use QuickBooks, but you should be doing something to track your expenses, your income and expenses. So the P&L, profit and loss statement. So basically all that is all the income coming in and all the expenses going out. And basically after those expenses, how much did you make? But why it's important is because it tells you where your money is going. Well, it tells you where your money coming from. So like for me, I can see, which platform brought me in the most, right? And I can split that up into see what percentage of my revenue is coming from each. But more importantly, I can see where I've been spending that during the course of a year, because you can spend and not really think much about it. But when you see a number at the end of the year, you're like, whoa, I spent that much on that? What? Right? And so you have to, man, I can't say this enough. You got to look at this stuff. It can't just be a thought in your mind. You have to look at these things, man. And so what I usually do is, once the year is done, I give my accountant Q4's financials. He'll put it together. When he's done, I run on my report. And then I look at each line item that's an expense, and I see how much I spent, one, and what I can reduce. So you have controllables, right? Which are expenses you can control, and then you got your non-controllables, right? So a controllable will be maybe something like the lights. I can control how much lights I use, right? I can leave here and leave the lights on all night when I'm not here. That will cost me more. So I can control that expense. So what I want to do, I don't want to use the lights if I don't have to. You got your fixed expenses, right? And then you got your variables. So my fixed expense will be something like rent for here, right? That's really not going to change, right? The rent is the rent. My account, his price is his price. That's fixed. I know what to expect. But a variable expense would be something like the light bill, right? That might be this price one day or 1 month, and then another price another month. So you need to know, you need to understand what type of expense it is. And then for a fixed expense, I might look at that and I might say, okay, my accountant is charging me this much. Let me see, as much as I like the guy, let me see if I can find another accountant that can do the same thing for a discount. And if it's worth it, because I'm not just going to leave them so it'll have to be, like right now, it's almost like $3,000 a year. So, I don't have to save like a good amount, maybe $500 to $1,000 at least to go do that. But I would still look at that and I would shop around. And that's what I've been doing. I've been like, shopping around to see if there's anybody out there. But honestly, most of them charge more than him. So, but I look at that with this expense. Now, the thing about this place is there's cheaper places, but it doesn't offer what I got. I got Wi-Fi. I got electricity. It's inside. You know what I mean? It does get cold in here, but it's still inside. And there's just a lot of benefits to being here. So I would really have to find something good to leave here. there's a few other fixed expenses for things like some of your softwares and things like that. Maybe you can find a cheaper one or a different version that does what you need to do, but it's a little bit cheaper. Things like that. You need to know your numbers. You need to look at it. This was like a super thing. Like, and when I was running restaurants, all the best GMs was always the ones who knew their P&Ls, who knew what was coming in, what was going out, where it was going. That was a big part of, like, if you got bonuses or not, because you need to know. And you need to know, like, how can you make an argument to your DM about a bonus or whatever if you don't even know, hey, this year we up this amount % in revenue, or I cut this and this and this. You just got to know that stuff, folks. So for your personal business, you need to be tracking these numbers and see if you're wasting money. If you're wasting money, and how you can bring that back to your bottom line. All right. Let me see before I keep going. Number 3, track numbers better. All right. I give you that. Let me go back. Let me double check. Make sure you ain't trying to get out. Focus on this on the categories, set the schedule check. All right, you said that, Mr. Shea. You got that one. You just didn't say it the same way, right? You got that one. Track your numbers better. My bad. I think my goal is going to be, whenever I buy inventory, I need to list all of it before I buy more inventory. For sure. I'm going to get into that too, Maya. I used to do it this way, but I fell off the wagon. Now I got a death file issue. That's usually how I go. What's up, Nitix? How you doing? Your top selling category on eBay may not be your top selling category on another platform. So true. That's a good point, So if you do sell on multiple platforms, there's a lot of work you got to do. But listen, success in this business is not based on bolos. It's not based on, like, yeah, that's good to find a bolo here and there and all that. Success in this business is based on who's willing to put the work in on these types of things, knowing the numbers, being strategic, right? Setting goals, knowing what sells good on each type of platform, right? Why would I buy this I'm not buying this for eBay. It don't sell good on eBay. But over here, you got to know this stuff. It can't, you got to write it down too. That's important, man. I can't tell you how many times I would just, like, either forget something or it just would be out of my mind because life happens and it get pushed out and you think about it again like 6 months later. But by then, you lost so much ground. You could have been so much further ahead. You know what I mean? I went sourcing to 2 stores yesterday and last night. Photographed all of it, and I'm listing all of it now. That's a good job. Hey, I don't know about y'all. Y'all see my post in the community tab? I was talking about Ollie's. Ollie's had a members only sale on Sunday, man. 25% off of toys, 15% off all the other stuff. Listen, with the 25% and the reseller license, I ain't got to pay tax. I found some really, really, really good deals, y'all. Some really good deals. It was from 6 to 10 p.m. I ain't get out of that place till like 9:30, man. It was good. I needed that. That was good. Josh, what's up, buddy? Hope everything's going good with you, man. I seen the Power Hour earlier. You talking about you and John going back and forth about that deal and all that. I was gonna comment on it, but I didn't, Josh. I think John made some good points. I understand what you were saying too. To me, I think I would lean more to what John was saying as far as, like, taking into account what it would take for you if you were to list all that stuff on eBay or whatever. I'm just talking about specifically even brokering it to where you were saying where you was going to send it. I forget the name of the place. I mean, honestly, to me, I would think, like, if I got to take time away from what I'm doing and do this for you, yeah, you may not need me, but if you want my help, then you have to pay a fair price, but it can't, like, I'm not going to what's the word? I'm not going to I don't know, sell myself short, I guess, right? Josh, it takes time and effort and a lot. Like, that's why Amazon, well, this ain't the only reason, they greedy, but it's one of the reasons why Amazon charges us so much to do FBA, right? Because it makes the process easier. Your workload is all front-ended, right? You got to label it, package it up, ship it out. Once you do that, everything else is Amazon. From the logistics to the inventory storage to moving the item around, shipping the item out, the customer service afterward, front to end is all Amazon. And so the question is, what are you willing to pay for that? So it would be almost the same way if you were selling for that guy. It's almost the same thing, right? If he wants to give it to you, excuse me, and after that, he wash his hands and sit back. I mean, listen, man, that's valuable. That's valuable. I'm not saying you got a price count, but that's valuable. Don't sell yourself short, buddy. See if I can get back on top. All right, so knowing your numbers, Mrs. Shea did say that. I was wrong. Tracking them, use something, a spreadsheet, QuickBooks, whatever you want to do. There is an app. It'd be hard to do. It'd be hard to do. Never mind. You can't really use it for that. But there's free accounting software out there too. There's free accounting software. I don't know. Some of you guys might not be numbers people, but there's free accounting software out there that you can use. I used to do it myself. I just got tired of doing it, and between running my business, I just felt like that was something that I didn't want to be focusing on doing. So, all right. So we got number one, 80-20 rule with your items. Calling off the 80%, focusing on the 20%. That's how you get growth, sustained growth, and it's easier than you think. And I guess you can say kind of what I do is with, if y'all know Rake and Profit, he got that eBay to Amazon flips. I haven't taken the group, but I don't know the particulars, but it's the same concept, right? Look at eBay, source items off eBay, they sell for a higher price on another platform. Except for with me, all I'm doing is I'm just going through items that I've already sold, especially for Walmart, because there's no like sales history. You can't use Keeper charts, nothing like that. So all I can go by is what I know already sold. It'd be a little bit easier on Amazon because I can use Keeper charts and all of that. I'm glad to see some people like to sell antiques because I just do not want to do all the research. Man, me neither, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I like to hear the history behind items, but it's not nothing like I'm really passionate. That's why when people like Josh and them, I wouldn't mind talking to y'all, because like I like to hear about that stuff. And there's a lot of history and things like that behind it, but wouldn't be something I would want to get into personally. Thank you, mine. Certainly a tough market, but you do love it. Now you gotta love it, right? You gotta sell and do what you love. All right, number 3. Gotta increase your knowledge. So I just bought a book, which is not in here, but it's called The One Thing. That I had started listening to the audio book on YouTube, but it sounds so stupid. I'm just like, I can't listen to this, like that mechanical voice thing. So I just bought the book. And I know Scott Bearded Picker, he's starting like a book group type thing where they order the book, read it, like we reading it this month, and we supposed to talk about it next month. You know what's funny about that? And this is how something's a sign. I was thinking a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm like, dang man, it would be nice if like, you had some resellers come together and do like a book group type thing and this and that. And I'm like, man, it'd probably be hard to do. And I swear to goodness, man, not like a few days later, I'm listening to one of Beard's lives, and he brings up how they starting the book. I said, man, that's a sign, right? So, and that book is called Profit First. I'm really excited about it actually. So, reading that book, and I want to participate in that. So, number 3 again, increase your knowledge, whether and not just reselling knowledge. Your overall, start with whatever you're weak in, right? If you're weak with numbers, start with your numbers. Do a little business math course, little free course. Watch some YouTube videos. Learn if you don't know what a P&L is, watch a few videos about a P&L. If you don't know how to track expenses and you don't understand what your controllables are, like it just gives you a much firmer grip on your business overall. You know what I mean? But then also listening to other people's stories, reading about processes or watching videos on processes. One of the things y'all should do is learn what lean manufacturing is and watch some of those videos and the Toyota way, and things like that, and how efficient these systems are that they come up with, man. I'm telling you, it will change the way you think. And if you change the way you think, it's going to change the way that you do business, man. And if you change the way you do business, you're going to be, because you got to think, the vast majority of people are not going to put forth the effort required to be successful over the long term. Some people may put that effort in initially, right? But the race ain't to the swift, right? It ain't to the swift. You can start out fast, but that don't mean you're gonna finish, right? You gotta be strategic. You gotta kind of like take your time, and it's hard for me because I am a very impatient person. I ain't even gonna lie, and so that's like one of my things that I gotta work on. But increase your knowledge. So one of the things that I'm going to do, I'll give y'all an example. I am going to. Well, I seen somebody put to adding a platform. Was that you, Miss Lachey? Talking about adding a platform? Yeah, that was your number 5. Add another platform. I think I want to do that too. So what I want to do is I want to try out Whatnot, and I want to do 1 auction a week. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. At first, I got to still figure out what I'm going to try to sell. But that is one of my goals for next year, is to add another platform, Whatnot, and try to sell. But I also want to learn something else as far as like reselling. So what I think I want to do is I'm going to do more. I ain't gonna say more. I'm going to start going to thrift stores. I'm going to set a day or days and times. And look, I'm not trying to be like a thrifter or nothing like that. And I'm not honestly going to put a whole bunch of effort. Not effort. I'm not going to put a whole bunch of time into it. But I do want to add this. I want to learn about a lot of the used stuff that sells for higher dollar amounts. And because that's not my model and I'm already successful with what I'm doing, I don't have to rush it. And so I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to be very strategic and specific about what I choose, and I'm going to learn about these items and what they sell. Am I going to do clothes? I might. As much as I hate clothes, I might. But I'm going to be very, very particular about what clothes I choose. I'm looking more for other things like hard goods, honestly. And I ain't going to push it, but I'm going to make a concerted effort to learn that world, to learn that form of reselling, and go from there. And heck, Josh, I might even start looking into I got a whole antique seller in the back of the unit back here, man. So I might even start learning something. I just want to expand my knowledge, expand my connections, and have more interactions with people who know what I don't know, who have experiences that I don't have, who've been places I haven't been, and things like that. I don't want to be stuck in a bubble. You know what I mean? Don't want to be stuck in a bubble. Let me see. We all just out here grinding. I know that's right, man. I was so tired on Monday. I ain't even done a weekend wrap up in a couple weeks, dude. By the time I'm done, y'all, I just feel like my brain is oozing out my ears or something, man. I just need to sit back. Where we at? Yeah, Josh, keep us posted on that deal, man. I'm interested to see what you do. Whatever you do, I know you're going to do what's best for you and what's best for him. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I mean, regardless of what anybody else thinks you should do. However, don't sell yourself short, buddy. The 1% Solution for Works in Life by Tim Connolly is a good read. I wonder I'm going to keep that in mind, Mr. Shea. Thanks. I wonder if I listened to that audiobook before. I'm going to check it out again, even if I did, because apparently I don't remember it. So definitely check it out. A few other ways to get used items too. There's a guy in my city who sells vintage on Whatnot. He put ads on Nextdoor offering to buy vintage clothes. He sources everything that way. And sometimes like stuff like that, it'll stimulate other thoughts for like your main part of your business. And you'll just come across other people who maybe You don't want to sell what they got, but maybe they be like, hey, I know a guy or I know a gal who got such and such. And so you make a connection, right? It's kind of how I met Josh, man. And me and Josh have done a lot of business together over the almost 2 years now that I've known him. All right, so number one, 80-20 rule. Call your items. Focus on the ones that sell the most for the most. Number two, know your numbers, P&L, read it. Three, increase your knowledge. Make sure you are around people, talking to people who are going to help you get better. And not just reselling, y'all, not just reselling, any type of business, any type, because some of my best thoughts and ideas for my own business came from me listening to business content that wasn't even related. And just content on leadership, management, even if you don't have an employee, different types of management skills and techniques and leadership things, like all of that, man, all of that, because at the end of the day, some of us can't manage ourselves properly, right? Some people, they don't have a schedule, they can't stay disciplined enough to be consistent over the long term. And so sometimes you got to start with yourself as the employee and treat yourself like you would treat another employee. Because I feel like there's certain things we let ourselves get away with, we wouldn't let somebody else get away with if they were working for us, right? Do y'all agree? Like if you was your employee and did some of the stuff that you do, what would you say to yourself? Walk up like, hey, man, it's the fourth time I seen you on your phone, man. You know what I mean? Why you keep taking bathroom breaks? Telling you, we let ourselves get away with some things sometimes we probably would never let somebody else get away with. Health and beauty on Posh. I got a Poshmark account. I don't know much. I don't know if I like Posh. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, number 4 is related to what we were just talking about as far as trying something different, right? So that's kind of interrelated to coming off of learning new things. And just like I said, for me, I want to try whatnot. I got to see what it's like. And I'm not going to like take my first time doing it as like my total experience. You know, if I do it and I bomb out, well, I'm gonna try something else and I'm gonna try something else, because I do think that a big part of the future of reselling is live selling. A big part of it is going to be live selling, whether that's whatnot, eBay getting live selling, doing it through Poshmark. I think that having that in your toolbox as a reseller is going to be very useful one way or another. I don't know. I'm not going to say everybody should do it, but I know this. If you have a decent type of operation going on and you can get inventory in, I think it's a good way to keep your cash flow, man, and build up an audience. I think that the future of reselling, for the most part, it depends on the type of selling you want to do, right? Because you got the kind of retail cold business like selling on a platform like Amazon, where it's just business as usual, right? You got a product and you got a customer. Boom. eBay in some ways is that same way, but I do think eBay in a lot of ways is a little more personal than maybe an Amazon. And why do I say that? Because the used items, I feel like a used item has more personality, first of all, than the brand new one, right? Something that somebody had, or wherever this item may have been, especially collectibles, right? This item has a history. So those things, it's a little more personal. And the interaction with the customer can be more personal. But then when you go to live selling, that's even more personal. And I think that those interactions can foster more personal brand allegiance, I guess. I don't know. Maybe just more loyalty, personal brand loyalty. So you are your own brand, right? And so when you have those type of personal interactions where you on live and you talking to somebody, just like we talking right now, this is why I appreciate y'all so much, because y'all can be doing 1,000 other things, man. And say 15 people. I don't care if it was like 2 or 3. I appreciate every last one of you for taking the time out your day. That's personal. So I think when you doing that with people, then you foster a even a tighter community and an even more secure way to earn money, because you'll have people who will mess with you because they mess with you, right? They like you, whatever. You talk to them, you communicate, it's back and forth. This is why customer service is so important. Maybe you'll get to know people's name, you shout out their name. And so, people feel more comfortable making a purchase, especially online, the more that they feel like they know the person on the other side. The more that they feel like they know the person on the other side. And so even if there's an issue, it's easier to come at somebody on a platform like Amazon or something because they don't know you. To them, you're Amazon. They don't even know for the most part. You're some guy working out a storage unit, right? And so it can be real rude. But if you've been talking to somebody on the camera and there's a problem, they can be like, hey, man, listen, I had this issue. It's like, oh, okay, I'll fix it. But they'll stay there with you too. So I think that live selling is definitely a direction that I want to move into, and I want to kind of do it step by step. And I want to be able to add that to my business. So that's the main something different that I'm going to try coming up in this next year. I agree. While in your circle, listen to different people with different ideas and models. Yeah, and that's why I listening to even like I listen to resellers that sell stuff I probably would never sell. So for instance, there's some card resellers. Look, I have absolutely no interest in selling cards, but I've learned a lot listening to some of these card resellers. I'm like, okay, some of their processes, just different things, some of the ways they store. Like, you never know what nugget you might pick up. That's why I never try to be like arrogant or think I know. The more I think I know, the more I realize I don't know, man. Like, my knowledge is like a grain of sand in the universe. Like, if you took one small grain, I wouldn't even say in the ocean. If you took one small grain of sand and was to take it out into space and just let it go, that's pretty much what my knowledge represents to what all there is to know. And so I'm always excited to know more, to learn more, to just kind of kick it with people and bust it up and talk to people, get to know people. I love those experiences. And I think that part of reselling especially, I think you can build a really solid business if you kind of can focus on that part of customer service and making those connections with people in whatever form that. But I think that form is leaning more towards live selling. I'm telling you. And then 5 and last, and this is for you, Maya, because I'm pretty sure you said this. Get rid of your death pile. Don't buy anything else. Can you see? I wrote that, right? Get rid of your death pile. Don't buy. Listen, I'm just busting your chops, but I used to have the same problem. I would buy and buy and buy, and then it's a discipline that you got to learn if you ain't already got it. Like right now, I got a bunch of inventory, and I refuse unless it's a good deal. I've done some retail arbitrage, but those were items that had high sell-through and good profit and fast flip. So I will buy that right now. But as far as me making a large purchase, I'm not doing it until I get my inventory down. I've seen some lots up even like on a couple of sites, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And so the death pile thing. If I was a person who was struggling with a death pile right now, I would do exactly what you said. Don't buy nothing. Look, decide first. Is it even worth your time? Right? Because maybe your current model, and I'm not saying you specifically, Maya, but maybe somebody else, your current model may not be working, may not be what you want. Maybe you got goals to do something else. Well, start right now, right? Start right now. And if the item might not fit what your present goals are or what your future goals are, don't even waste the time. Remember, you ain't been listing it. It ain't been selling, and you've been doing just fine without it. So you ain't missing out if you don't list it. If it don't reach your current goals or your future goals, just don't even list it. You can either do one or two things. Put it together in a lot to offload on marketplace for a few bucks if you want, or just donate it, right? But and then the other part is decide if you are going to list it, put everything together, what platform you're going to list it on, and price it to sell. Don't even try to get unless it's really good. I wouldn't even try to get top dollar for it. I would just, because it's been sitting there already. You need to move. Here's the thing I think people don't realize, because you'll hear people talk about the death pal thing jokingly, but it's really not funny. Because you got to think all of us are learning. So, sometimes we just don't know better. But think of the mindset that it takes to continually run a business that way, where you have potential profits sit there and you're okay with just walking past it every day. Every day you walk past and like, oh, yeah, I'll just leave that sitting there. Well, how is that running a serious business? You got to address the issue that's right in front of you. Again, what is the most important thing you got to do? You got to do that first. What is the hardest thing to do? You want to do that first. You got a death pile? List it. Or it might not be a death pile. Like I ain't got a death pile. I got a lot of inventory, but I wouldn't consider it a death pile. It's just inventory that I need to get listed. And so I'm not going to let it become a death pile. Oh man, this is going to be off track, y'all. But check this out, right? Check this out. Talking about death pile. So I ordered like 3 separate lots from 888 lots, right? And one of them was $546. Now, I didn't check these lots when they came because I never had an issue with them. So finally, I started getting to them. So the first lot, the electronic lot, had a bunch of good stuff in it, y'all. A bunch. This lot was probably, the MSRP on everything was about, $2,500 or so. So you spend $5, probably wouldn't have made that much, but it would have been a nice flip, right? And it was a lot of high sell-through items. Listen, man, I start going through this lot. It's not even the right lot. Not even the right lot. It is a home goods lot. I bought this stuff back in August. This is how backed up I am, first of all. I bought this stuff back in August. I start going through it. It's a home goods lot. Look, I contacted them, and I've been trying to contact them to get them to work with me. Technically, if they want to be jerks, it's been so long, they don't have to do anything, right? If they want to be jerks, I'm not going to blame them. I would be upset if they didn't, but and so this home goods lot, this one I found it because I was able to take one of the items from it, search on their site, and then I found the lot that it was attached to. This was only a $248 lot. The whole value of the lot is half of what I paid. So of course I went through the other 2 lots that I had and I checked those, and those look good. But that was just one of the other issues that I've been dealing with. And that's not like, it's kind of a self-inflicted wound, I guess. But I didn't think I had to check the stuff because I've never had an issue with them. But it just goes to show, never assume anything, man. Never assume anything. So I got an email from them earlier. I haven't read it yet. We'll see. If they look, my thing is, I think they thought I wanted a refund. I didn't want a refund. And I even told them that in the email. I said, look, I didn't. If anything, I would be asking like for some way to, because it's half the value of what I ordered. And I know it's been a while, it's been a month or two, but this the difference, whether it be the difference and you give me a credit for me buying something on the site, I'll be happy with that. But I'm gonna see what they do as far as their customer service go. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick about that. I'm sick about that, man. That was a really good lot. There was some really good items in that lot. It was some really good items in that lot, man. And all because I thought it was the right one and I didn't check it, I might be out. I'm not. This home good lot got some decent stuff in it, but I think I'll make my money back. I don't know if I'll make a profit or if I do. It said the value of it was about 2,500, 2,000 something, but it's slower selling stuff too, though, But yeah, I know that was kind of, I digress. Another thing that had me depressed, man. Another thing that had me depressed. Oh my goodness. Get rid of some things that I intended to clean, stain, treat, so that part of the issue, right? Right. Let me go back up here. I agree. Why in your circle? Listen, I think I read that, didn't I? No death piles definitely aren't a joke. It was kind of taking over my life, making progress. And it's not, man. If we run in businesses, we got to run it like a business. We got to run it like a business. But I think it's all the crying I'm gonna do on one show. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick about that lot. That was a good lot, y'all. I honestly, I may have been able to make what the MSRP of the total lot was with that one. That's how good the stuff was, man. I can't believe it, dude. I can't. I even if they do something to like rectify the situation, I wanted the lot. I wanted the lot. Instead, I got this home goods lot. I don't even sell home goods, man. Dang, I don't even sell home goods. I have sold a few things out of it so far, but look, I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that came in this damn lot. Watch this. Like, this was the junk lot. Like, first of all, what the hell is this? All right, so this is a glass holder, right, for glasses. You put your glasses on there, but dude, there's like I got like 12 of these over there. There was some good. Then you got like little dumb. I don't know, man. I don't know. First of all, whoever bought that lot, because I didn't buy it, it sold to somebody. They probably got my lot, the electronics lot, so they're happy, and I'm sitting over here. I sold a pack of Brita water filters out of it already. That sold for about $20 on Walmart. And I sold like 3 or 4 other items. There's some decent items. I don't know how long they're going to take to sell because I don't sell the stuff, so I don't have any idea of the sell-through rate. They sell good on Amazon, which is where they came from, but a couple of the items I was able to put back on Amazon, but then the majority of it so far, it's the brand. The brand is still on Amazon, so I can't. I'm not jumping on that listing. I mean, even though it says I'm approved to sell it, I ain't that crazy, If I jump on a listing with just the brand, I know sellers that will, and they'll make the brand do, because not all brands are brand registered, and the brand can only put an IP complaint in on you if they're brand registered. I don't know if y'all know that, but I don't know if y'all ever listen to Reseller Mom or something. She got a lot of good Amazon content. That lady know her stuff, but they talk about that stuff all the time. How people jump on listings and you can't really get them off. Like Amazon got a whole process that you got to go through. I mean, there's still ways as a seller you can get somebody off your listing, but I think in order to like officially put in like an IP complaint, I think you have to be brand registered. I think, but or it might be counterfeit. Either way, that was my other thing I was dealing with. I'm gonna check that email and see what they say. But listen, y'all. Listen, I had some home goods already. I don't hate on home goods. I have purchased home goods before. I just wouldn't have bought this lot. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have bought this one. That's what they're going sure. But I'm actually, Maya, to your point, since I gotta sell this stuff now, I see that there's some potential there, an opportunity. So it's something that I'm definitely going to be looking to do and sell more of in that category. So it's not a total loss. It's not a total loss. I just sure as heck wouldn't have purchased that lot. It wasn't to me, it's not worth the $200 and something the person paid for it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But listen, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go for the night, man. Again, I appreciate y'all time. I will talk to y'all again live next week. We got Christmas coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna do a live next week. I don't think next week is the Christmas week, right? I'll do that live. But y'all have a good night. Appreciate your time. Maya, if you got any questions, or if any of y'all got questions, send me a message in my email or whatever. I have absolutely no issues with answering you, helping you out. Need help getting ungated. If you want to know where you can purchase a certain different things for certain brands to get ungated, I'll let you know. I mean, I can make a video about it, but it's like I ain't trying to do the shotgun thing. Just ask a specific question. I'll give you a specific answer if you need help getting ungated in pretty much any type of brand. All right. But that's it for tonight. Have a good night, y'all.